Greetings, aspiring commanders. My name is Servia Pride, and you are now watching what I believe should be part 5 of this series. In this particular series, we will cover the heads-up display. By doing so, you will have a better understanding in the team game, and you will have a better understanding of how to communicate with your fellow players in a team game. The one thing that I would recommend that you get to begin with is something known as Eco Manager version 7. For this, you also need common mod tools, but in doing so, it allows you to access certain options that may or may not make your life easier. In this instance, the only interface mod that I have activated of this particular mod is simply the Show Mechs overlay, so that at a glance you can see what your mechs are. And it's also the same with regards to nuclear launchers and SMD. At a glance, it'll show you and allow you to do these things without zooming in or otherwise. That's all I wish to state for that regard. There are other options available. Some people regard them as cheating, other people regard them as simply streamlining a process. I am completely neutral on the affair, because I am simply going to teach you, I am not going to indoctrinate you just yet. Regardless, we are now going to move up the heads-up display and the most important things that you might need to know in order to communicate in a team game. First, actually communicating, you press enter. Pressing enter sends a message to all people in the game, pressing shift and enter sends it to allies. There's the other option right here. You can click on it and it'll allow you to, and in another game where you have other players, you can send personal messages to them if you so wish to do so. Other ways of communicating with your team are the pings that you might see here. There are hotkeys for them. In general, this community does not make any distinction between these three pings because almost every ping is followed by a chat message. The only ping that you might, and indeed should know about, that is different if you wish to use it, is the message marker. This ping will leave a permanent marker there until deleted or moved. That allows you to write and mark something. To move it again, you simply click shift. You can move it off the entire map if you wish to. To delete it, you simply right click. Other particular modifications you may wish to have to your HUD comes in the row underneath. You click on these, you can make your own game and click on these if you so wish, but briefly speaking, this will toggle and it's color coded right there. It'll show you enemies are in red, neutrals are in yellow, which are generally civilians, allies are in green and yours are in blue, or you can leave it as it is and everyone has their own color. This may help you if you're beginning to know who's on your team and who isn't, but in general you know who's on your team because they're not shooting at you and because you can see what they see. The economic overlay menu will simply show greater details of your inputs and outputs of your economy per structure and per unit. And finally, the one thing I would recommend that you utilize is the activation of the Intel button. This is because as soon as you press this button, you can see the area of which you have radar coverage, and thus you know the presence of units are there or if they are not. The problem if you do not activate this is that whilst you may have radar coverage, you do not know for a fact where that line is and where it ends. I will cover this in more detail in the intelligence episode. But for the moment, I'm going to show you how to activate this, which is you simply click this button. People may or may not utilize different. You can use this to your heart's content. These are integrated into the game and are not considered mods of any kind. Speaking of mods, if you wish to rebind your hotkeys, press the F1 button, and you can rearrange these to your heart's content. The other modification of note is something known as an NG mod, which is integrated into the game, and I will be talking about that in the relevant episode known as teching. With regards to everything that you might need to know, the only other thing that might be of interest is in the top right. You have all of your idle units and structures might be located here. At the top you'll have a player list, and you'll have ratings put next to it. The map ID will be at the very bottom, and the game time will be at the top. You then have your units, the cap at the very top right, and that is all I wish to state in this particular tutorial on the heads-up display. Now, there is one more, and I'm hesitant to talk about it because it is going to be reworked in the near future, and that is overcharge. By the time you watch this video, it is most likely have already been implemented, but in case it hasn't, and you're wondering how to utilize it, the answer at the moment is that you require 5,000 energy to use overcharge. You start the game with 4,000 in storage, and in order to get more energy storage, you simply build an energy storage, thereby allowing you to accumulate the necessary 5,000 and utilize it. That will conclude this episode. My name is Servia Pride. I bid you good luck and have fun.